Shattering white privilege myths. Brace yourself for a woke-up call. I mean, a wake-up call. That was not a slip of the tongue. Trust me when I say. So we got this article here today, and I'm actually going to distill down what white privilege is in this video. I finally figured it out after making dozens of videos over a few years here. I got the definition that I can actually dismantle or work with if I feel like it doesn't need to be dismantled or think that it can't be dismantled. Now, if you're new or if you haven't watched many of my videos lately, I'm putting palette cleansers at the end of my videos, so stick around to the end. I'm putting in fun and interesting little shorts at the end of my videos to kind of wash away this stuff a little bit that we talk about that's a little bit more intense. Now, I want to thank everybody for stopping by my channel and supporting my work. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed because YouTube does unsubscribe people every single day. You can find me over on Rumble and on Twitter. And let's get into this article. TikToker Kavatika has tackled the concept of white privilege, specifically addressing those who claim not to be racist and argue that they face hardships too. While acknowledging that everyone faces challenges in life, the crucial distinction lies in the fact that these challenges are not rooted in the color of their skin. Really? So are you saying that every challenge that a person who is not white faces is because of their race? Really? That seems to be a humongous stretch. So if a child is born with some sort of disorder, then that's the color of their skin that did it. If a person falls down a flight of stairs and is paralyzed, it's the color of their skin that did it. Come on, give me a break. Moving on. Addressing racial expectations and misconceptions. In her viral video, which has garnered nearly 400,000 views, Kavatika responded to a rant by another user who stated, "I certainly don't think that black people should expect racism because white people are going to stop being that way. White people pretty much have already stopped being that way. We all know that it's not really okay to judge people based on their skin color. You know, that's not... We got to look at the content of the character. There may be some correlations that we see, but there's never 100%. Like, we can't say all white people are X, or all black people are C, all brown people are Y. We can't say any of those things. That's just not true. And back to the article. Just because you're white doesn't mean you're racist. This is true. Just because you're black doesn't mean you're racist. Just because you're Hispanic doesn't mean you're racist, so on and so forth. There's plenty of people that are still going to be that way, but just because I'm white or we're white doesn't mean that we are. With a record scratch effect, Kavatika jumps in to disagree with this statement and articulates why it is far from accurate. Oh, so all white people are racist. So right now I can just dismiss everything that Kavatika says because not all white people are racist. Okay? Just get over yourself. If all white people are racist, then all brown people are racist, all black people are racist, all of every group is racist. And we're not allowed to say that, so why would we say it about white people? Back to the article. That's exactly what it means. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Why are you repeating yourself? That's literally what that means, she asserts. She explains that white individuals often struggle with self-examination because they are obsessed with being perceived as good. Yeah, and black people aren't obsessed with being perceived as good. Hispanic people, Arabic people, Asian people, none of these people want to be good. Okay. The fact of the matter is that white people don't understand where you're coming from. I'm just now figuring this out, what your point of view is. And I am going to tell you how you're wrong. But we'll get to that. Don't worry. And I got a little segment later on that really boils this down. You'll understand. It's going to be great. They believe they are good people. They genuinely believe they are good people with good intentions and dislike racism. Thus, they are offended by any suggestion that they could dehumanize others. Oh. Are you saying that white people are only ones who can dehumanize other people? That's what it sounds like you're saying here. The fact of the matter is anybody can dehumanize anybody else. It's human nature to do that. This is how we other people. And if you go to Africa, there is prejudice between African groups. Like one group looks one way, one group looks a little bit another way. They don't like each other. That's the reality that we live in. The thing is, it's easy to point to white people and say, hey, look, it's white people. Or in this country, point to black people and say, hey, look, it's black people. Or point to any group of people because we're so mixed here. It's really easy. So as an outsider looking in on Africa, I can't see, like, oh, you all look like you're black people to me. I don't understand what the big deal is. Moving on, she says, white people don't recognize privilege. That's because it doesn't exist. However, Kavatika points out that this line of thinking is precisely why people continue to face challenges. Without acknowledging and confronting the problem, they cannot work towards a solution. So privilege is the problem. That's what they're saying. Okay, I have white privilege. I acknowledged it. Now I have to confront it. Yeah, okay. How am I going to do that? How do I confront this problem of white privilege? Please tell me. Oh, you don't have any kind of action steps for me? It's not your job to tell me? Oh, okay. Understanding white privilege. She emphasizes that no one is claiming that being born white makes someone inherently evil or bad. Yes, they are. There's a lot of people out there claiming that.
I grew up being raised that the white man is the devil.
But it is problematic when they fail to recognize the implications of being born white in a racist society. Yeah, we don't live in a racist society. Not really. And most of the rest of the world is more racist than America is. So she examines what white people have. Oh, really? Why is she invading my privacy? She stresses the importance of examining the privileges, benefits, and insulation we inherit as white individuals, even though many people dislike the term privilege. But I thought that nobody was born evil. You're saying that privilege is evil, and it says right here, you're not born inherently evil or bad. Okay, make up your mind. All right, acknowledging white disadvantages while addressing racial privilege. She acknowledges that white individuals can experience other disadvantages such as discrimination based on sexuality, gender, physical ability, or economic status. However, she clarifies that the color of their skin has never been a problem they face, unlike black, indigenous, and other people of color. Oh, okay. So being white, the color of my skin has never been a problem that I face. I would challenge that very strongly, since it has been a problem for me. So we're going to get it more into this. Let's continue on with the article. Failing to think this way is a form of racism. Oh, yes. If you don't think exactly like me, if you're not a little woke bot, then you're evil. I know. That's how it works. Yeah. She urges us to vocalize this acknowledgement, stating that failure to do so is a form of racism. Yeah, I have to speak out loud about, I have privilege. I have to say it out loud. I have privilege, and I need to confront that privilege. Otherwise, I'm being racist. No, I don't need to go around announcing that. Raising awareness of unconscious biases. She adds that racism is not limited to overtly using racial slurs. Well, no, it's not. It would be ridiculous to think that. It can be subtle and unconscious, sneaking up on people through their actions and behaviors. They often remain unaware until someone calls them out on it. Are you saying that black people are racist, that Hispanic people, that Arabic people, that Asian people are racist? Because, look, they often remain unaware until someone calls them out. So them thinking they don't have it means, hey, they're unaware until somebody calls them out. I don't know what to tell you. That seems to fit perfectly in your model that you have here. That's just how it is. I'm not saying that white people aren't racist too, but I'm thinking that every other race is racist too would fit perfectly in this model. Addressing unconscious biases. She stresses the need to rely on others to help people recognize our unconscious biases and build our understanding around that knowledge. If people can accept the prejudice is a part of the human experience, then receiving feedback about it will be less emotionally distressing. Prejudice is a part of the human experience. And she's specifically talking about being prejudiced against others. So either you're saying that non-white people are not human, or that everybody is racist. Which is it? The importance of self-reflection. She encourages viewers, referring to them as fellow Snow-Americans. Oh, okay, that's not racist at all. To embrace the fact that being good means acknowledging limitations and being okay with being wrong. Okay. By doing so, people can engage in meaningful self-reflection and actively contribute to dismantling racism. This video provides an insightful and powerful perspective on white privilege, challenging misconceptions and inviting viewers to confront uncomfortable truths in the pursuit of a more just and inclusive society. I do want to look at Kavatika on TikTok. There was her name right there, Kavatika. So here on TikTok, we got Kavatika, and she's a commie biter queen. Yeah, communism is evil. We've seen it in practice a bunch of times in the world. And it doesn't lead to good outcomes for the individuals who are living under a communist government. Now, I don't think this is the right TikToker. I don't know. I mean, I typed, this is Kavatika. I don't see any videos down here that have 400,000 views. See 12,000 views, 4,000 views, 9,000 views. And this person just is like talking about her life and like the silliness things about her life. Like, wait, can we get more info on the other something or other? On the other saltiest places? Yeah, so info on the saltiest places. There's a picture of a bird and something about a fancy haircut, so on and so forth. I don't think this is the person that made that particular video. Maybe it is, but I'm not going to search through all of these videos to find that particular one if this is in fact that person. But I do want to move on. I have another segment that I want to talk about here. This gives a better definition, I think, of what white privilege is. We're going to have a more fleshed out version. This is a interview on NPR's Fresh Air with novelist A Cosby. Let's take a listen.
And you write like what he thinks when he looks at them. You say, he felt an atavistic revulsion roll through his body. The sight of these men who thought their lack of complete success in their every endeavor was proof of the falsity of their privilege and their dress grays, made him sick. And I really think that description, men who thought their lack of complete success in their every endeavor was proof of the falsity of their privilege, is really interesting. I was hoping you could talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, so I've had debates with people I considered friends or people I knew or people I grew up with that there's idea of white privilege doesn't exist. You know, there's no such thing. It's like I had a gentleman tell me, I'm working every day. You know, I'm paying bills. How is that? Where's my privilege? Where's my free card? And privilege is not free things. I think people confuse privilege with success. You know, just because you're not successful doesn't mean that you're not privileged. It's like you can be in a foot race and your mom can be the one judging the foot race and your brother can give you a 10-foot head start. And if you lose, that doesn't mean that you didn't have any privileges. You know, just means.
All right, so now we have a definition. And this is a definition they've been throwing around, but I understand what this guy's talking about better than other people. And he's going to go even into more detail about this. But the notion that privilege means that you're not starting from zero. That's what it means. Or if you're starting from zero, then everybody else is starting from like -10 or -15 or something. That's what it means. Okay, prove that. How do you prove that? Can you prove that? Is there any way to go about proving that? How can we say that, you know, these people had to work harder to get to where they are than a white person? How can you prove that? Especially considering we have affirmative action now. We've had affirmative action in the past even more so than we have now. So we're doing the things that we need to do, but it's not good enough for you. Okay, let's move on.
Take advantage of them. And so I think there's this idea among some folks that, you know, their lack of success is a proof that the privilege doesn't exist. No, your privilege is to drive down the road without getting pulled over for nothing. You know, your privilege is to go into a store and have a $20 bill that looks a little janky and the person just not accepting it.
All right. So now he said, I can drive down the road and not get pulled over for nothing. Are you sure about that? Are you sure that I don't get pulled over for nothing? Are you sure that you've been pulled over for nothing? I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying that I need better statistics on this thing happening. And we could have better police departments, better police officers. I'm not saying that individuals are not bad. We all know that there are individuals who are prejudiced against other types of people. We know this and we acknowledge this. It's illegal to do. So, and then he refers to the George Floyd incident, the $20 bill that George Floyd passed off, a counterfeit bill, and he got the police called on him. Okay. If you do not call the police on somebody passing a counterfeit dollar bill, you are aiding and abetting a felony. So that's illegal. You can't do that. You think that white people just go, here, take this shady looking bill. No, that's shady looking. You take it back. I don't want it. And that's the end of it. There have been people arrested in my area where I live now for using counterfeit bills. Guess what? They weren't black. So if you watch the George Floyd police body camera footage, for which I made a video showing the footage, he fought his way out of the police car and begged to be held on the ground. So you tell me who's at fault there.
You don't end up with somebody's knee on your neck. You know, that's your privilege. Your privilege is to have an uncle, have a cousin, have a friend, have a fraternity brother who works at a bank, who gets you a good mortgage when you come in, even though maybe your credit isn't 100%.
All right, so I have a relative who works for Wells Fargo Bank and deals with loans. Specifically, that is the department this person works in. Let me tell you a humongous number of loans this person has garnered for me, even with my bad credit. Which it isn't bad anymore, but it was for a long time. 0 loans. I've gotten 0 loans. Wow. It's weird how having privilege that he's talking about sounds more like majority privilege. Why are there more white people working in banks than there are black people? Because there's more white people working in the country, period, than there are black people in the country. or working in the country. That seems more like majority privilege than it is white privilege. Are loan officers allowed to consider your race when determining whether or not you qualify for a loan? No, they are not. That's illegal. Do they do that? I'm sure there are some that do. If that happens, you need to file a lawsuit. It's very simple.
Percent. That's your privilege. Now, if you lose the house later on, that is, again, it's not emblematic of not having that privilege. And so I definitely am aware of that. It's something that I've seen growing up, as a kid myself. When I was...
Yes, you went to the bank and saw people get loans or get denied loans because of the color of their skin. I can't tell you how many times as a kid, I was waiting outside a bank just jumping for joy. Everybody that walked by was like, are you going to get a loan today? Are you going to get a loan today? Come on, give me a break. It is ridiculous. You witness things as a child that you probably have very big misconceptions about because you were a child and didn't have a bigger picture and you weren't even involved in these people's lives. Now, maybe you were. Maybe this affected you very directly. Maybe your parents had this situation. But A Cosby, there's a picture of him on the screen right now. He is an obese black man. The people we are taught are oppressed in this country. Here he is giving an interview on a national stage, and he is a best-selling author. Yeah. He didn't have any privilege to get that, though. See, he's so good. He worked hard to get to where he is. He's amazing. Look, he had double negative privilege because he's black and he's obese. You know what? On top of which, he's married. He has a wife. I don't know anything about his wife, really. She might not be a black woman, but I'm betting that she probably is a black woman that he married. And guess what? She owns her own business, successful business. Well, she's black and a woman. She's probably obese, too. So, hey, look, there you go. She got, at least 2 negatives against her. But yet she's making it. Okay.
When I was 13, I won a chess contest at our school. We had like a chess tournament, and there was a kid. I'm not gonna name him obviously, but there was a kid who didn't play chess, who didn't like chess, but he was mad that I had won, and I was on the school bus with him, and he poured some liquid on me, and we got into a fight, as kids do. And when the principal asked him why did he do it, he was just mad that I won the contest. He was tired of people talking about how smart I was and all that kind of stuff. And I remember turning to him, and I was like, "But you don't like chess." And at the time, as a child, I couldn't wrap my mind around that, And as an adult, I realized that this particular young man was in a household where anything that wasn't whiteness centered was taken as an insult, was taken as a slight. That itself is a privilege, to believe that, to feel that.
You're right. I've never run across black people that feel that black people are superior to other races. I've never run across Hispanic people who feel that Hispanic people are superior to other races, and I've never run across Arabic people or Asian people who think that their race is superior. I've never run across that at all. Ever. It was like, it only happens with white people. What a crazy concept.
I've never been ashamed of being black. I've never been ashamed of being a black man, but I'm acutely aware that my life has never been easier because of the color of my skin. Just like I have friends who are white I doubt that their lives have ever been harder because of the color of their skin. And again, I don't want you to feel bad about that. I don't want you to, genuflect and grovel about that. I just want you to acknowledge it. I think acknowledging it goes a long way to help healing some of our issues.
All right, so he says right there, your life is not made harder because of the color of your skin if you're white. Your life is not made easier because of the color of your skin if you're black. Prove that, please. I think that's not even true because guess what? I have a story time. So there used to be a burger place I would go to a long time ago. Now, if you're paying attention, you're screaming at the screen right now. Anti-woke warrior, you're allergic to wheat. You don't need hamburgers. You're right, I'm allergic to wheat, and I've been allergic to wheat for a long time. My allergy is mild. I suffer mild intestinal distress throughout most of my life. I ate wheat, suffered mild intestinal distress, didn't know what was wrong, figured out I had a wheat allergy, and then I stopped eating wheat. The doctor who diagnosed me even said, hey, your allergy is mild enough that I wouldn't even bother changing anything in your diet. But now if I eat wheat, I get violently ill because I just stopped eating it. So anyway, this was back when I ate wheat, before I knew I had an allergy, all right? So I used to go to this burger place. One time, I went to the burger place, and the general manager took my order. The general manager of this particular burger joint was a black man. I wonder how he got that job. I mean, he wasn't given any kind of assistance in getting that job. He wasn't promoted because he's white, like all us white people. All we do is get promotions because we're white, right? That's how that works. But anyway, I would get a special order. I never ate just like, oh, I want that particular burger. No, I want a burger like X, Y, and Z, and they would make it for me. And the general manager, when he put in that order for me, he charged me for the most expensive burger and made subtractions to that burger instead of charging me for the burger that was most like the one that I wanted, and then just charging me, it would be charged less money because it was closer to what I wanted, and it wasn't, he just charged me for the most expensive burger because he saw a white guy. I know that he did it because I'm white, because I was like, this is weird. How come it's so expensive? He's like, well, that's what we do. We charge the most expensive burger anytime you want a special order, and then we adjust it down to whatever you want, but we don't change the price. And I was like, all right. So I had some black friends, and I sent them there, and I was like, all right, make sure you get the general manager to take your order. Because nobody before had ever, all the white people that worked there never overcharged me, but the general manager was not overcharging the black people who went in there. He would only overcharge the white people who went in there, apparently. I mean, what other reason could he have for charging me more, but not charging black people more for the same order? I can't explain it other than that. So you tell me. Black people can be in positions of power and can hurt white people. It's not just white people in those positions. Black people can be in those positions too. Okay? So this notion that they want to say, it seems to be coming from majority privilege more so than anything. In the past, yes, it was white people ruled and everybody else was considered lesser. But in the present, not so much anymore. That's illegal. We recognize that as illegal. It's been that way for decades now. It's not a brand new thing. If you have a problem, if you're not getting what you want because of racism, you can go to the law and say, hey, they're not giving me what I want because of racism. So that's all I got for this time. Thank you for watching. Now, what I have for you is a kid who has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. If you are extremely flexible for no explainable reason, you might very well have this condition. You need to go to a geneticist. It's very important you take care of your health. Enjoy.